Welcome to Pine Thicket Philosophies, the non-podcast podcast where we do everything the podcast experts tell you not to do. If you are looking for a finely polished and professional podcast crew, well, folks, we ain't it. But if you want to virtually join a group of old outdoorsmen from southern Appalachia as we sit around the fire and talk about any one of our favorite topics, we'll pour a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, and enjoy.
Are we back?
We're back.
We must be back.
We are back. All right, we are going to welcome back another episode of Pine Thicket Philosophy, where even bad trips make great stories. So we've had a few of those over the years, but one thing that we have always been able to look forward to, and we've always been able to count on. Can't always count on some of us to bring the food that we're supposed to bring.
I can't believe it. The cold cuts.
I laid it out there.
Throwing it out there.
I laid it out there for you. It's right over the plate.
Cold cuts.
Okay. But one thing we've always been able to count on is Mr. J.R. Poe's fine cuisines.
Fantastic.
Yes. Some of the meals, we've carried people with us before on camping trips that were absolutely blown away. One man pulled me to the side one time and was like, how does he do this? Because he can cook better on the riverbank than most people can in a fully stocked kitchen. And that's the truth. That is absolutely the truth. We've had some fantastic meals. Very memorable meals. I'm going to try to go back through the archives and find as many pictures as we can.
Oh God, that's going to be a lot.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So this may be like for the video portion of this, it may be a 40 or 50 minute long video, which is some
pictures.
But we've enjoyed some really good meals. But I think to start off with, we're going to talk about the legend of the camp sandwich, not sandwich, the sandwich.
Well, you got to start off with it because it was breakfast.
Yes.
And that's how you start your day. Yes. With breakfast.
Breakfast is one of the three most important meals of the day.
Yes. one of the three. There's one thing about it. This group, we really like to eat.
We do.
It's really a miracle that we are not
diabetic.
It's
overweight.
Well, extremely overweight. And we would be, but we're all pretty active.
Yeah.
If we just ate like we eat and sit on the couch all the time.
Oh, Lord.
We would look like I did 2 years ago.
You need to let me get a picture of your driver's license to put in right here to compare
to now.
Yeah.
Or what about that one where I done a picture,
the one side by
side of myself?
Yes.
I get you that one too.
Yeah, it's the difference in Josh.
It's amazing.
It's really scary. It really is kind of scary at the difference. But anyway, the camp sandwich. I'm just going to turn it over to JR and just be like, tell us, educate us.
Yeah, the camp sandwich came about totally by mistake, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes, when you got a 2-burner colon, you want to get the most out of it. And so, especially at breakfast, one side of it is taken up with a coffee pot. That's numero uno, right? You got to have the coffee. Sometimes, when one of your fellow campers has had a rough night and you come to him with you need this. Here's your coffee.
I've forgotten about that.
You need this.
Okay. I had not had a rough night because of alcohol. That was not the reason for my rough night. I had shoulder surgery, and I had been released to light duty the day before we left on a 40-something mile canoe trip.
Yes.
And that first day, I thought I was going to die. And I hurt so bad that night. I moaned and groaned and tossed and turned. And I was in a hammock, so how much tossing and turning
You didn't do much.
Yeah.
But when I was trying to get out of my hammock the next morning, JR comes to me with a cup of coffee. He's like, you need this. I was like, yes I do.
Coffee and.
But yeah, the coffee's first. The coffee's first. And then, the camp sandwich. And the camp sandwich was originally, you take, 3 pieces of bread. You take one of them, you cut the center out of it, you set it down on a pan with a big hunk of butter, and you break an egg in it, and while it's cooking and you're toasting the bread on a big skillet, then you put a slab of bologna or whatever. Anyway, put bologna on to fry.
Thick cut.
Yeah, preferably thick cut. Yeah. And that was it. You had cheese that went on this, you had the egg, and then you had the bologna, and you put all this together. That was the original camp sandwich. But there's always a little boost. You always got to boost it just a little bit. And we have boosted that same sandwich with slices of tenderloin. We have boosted it with onion rings. We have boosted it with fried jalapenos.
Yes.
Deep fried.
We have boosted it, and and we can't make them anymore without bacon. Or now it'll be turkey bacon. But and now I'm not going to spare the bacon. I mean, it's going to be falling out all over the place. I remember we done, instead of having regular white bread, we had brioche buns. I mean, those were fantastic. We've done Eggos.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really good.
Yes, that was fantastic. But if there was something left over from supper the night before that we could put on the sandwich the next day, oh yeah, that's what we. And sometimes you'd have to unhinge your jaw like an anaconda just to eat this thing.
If I'm not mistaken, I couldn't handle this. But if I'm not mistaken, did y'all not put fish fillets left over?
Oh yeah, I eat the fish
I don't know
for
about
breakfast.
that.
I put a little bit of bluegill on my camp sandwich, and it worked out just fine. Every now and again we'll leave the bologna off, but it just ain't right to not have bologna on that camp sandwich. And it's got to where I make them at home. About once a week, me and my wife, although we don't call it the camp sandwich, we call it an omelet sandwich. It's still a camp sandwich, but still, we can call it whatever you want to. But
right.
we've had them breakfasts, and that's a good one because you've got everything right there, and it's toteable, and you can
Over Christmas break, I cooked breakfast. I think I cooked breakfast every morning over Christmas break, and we probably had kind of our own little version of the camp sandwich about 3 or 4 times. But I tell you what I would do. And Jace and Madison loved it. I would take the onion, the ring, and like caramelize it, and put the egg in it. But I was putting sausage patties and bacon, and then the cheese and the fried egg inside of the onion. And now that was just about taste overload.
Yeah. Now the onion, cooked, or a bell pepper ring, is good.
Yeah. See, I love bell peppers, and I'm not as big of a fan of an onion. But on the camp sandwich, I prefer the onion. Now explain that to me, because typically I'm the right opposite on everything but the camp sandwich.
Probably when you caramelize it.
I guess.
Yeah, something about the way it's cooked. And and of course, this don't have nothing to do with the camp sandwich, but I started making onion rings. Yeah, when we go, in our first summer, goings, and we have those big Vidalia onions that are you can eat them like an apple.
Yeah.
And then I make up a big batch. Of course, that's usually an appetizer. And of course, Glendon found out that an onion ring dipped in French onion dip it will double your onion pleasure. It's good stuff.
And it is good.
And you know.
I remember when he was doing that, I was like, "What are you doing? Oh my gosh, let me try it."
Yeah. And sometimes, I think we've gotten a little video of Josh, having to do the reverse blow when he put a hot onion ring in his face. How is it?
It's hot. It's hot.
Too early to tell. Just burn off all my taste buds. But we have cooked some really strange things out there on the side of the river.
I've actually been kind of almost doing camp sandwiches at home, but I do a route and I cook my egg, but I've been dicing up onions and habanero peppers, sauteing them in butter, and getting them good and tender. Then I put them in the egg, and I'll do, of course, turkey sausage or something like that with it a lot of times. And I have just done regular old turkey hot dogs, because you can buy just turkey hot dogs. And I've done that and made like sandwiches at home, just basically eggs and a wrap and stuff.
But yeah, we've tried all kinds of different kinds of breads, for the camp sandwich. And of course, you got to have the egg in there to hold it all together. And of course, most of us eat cheese, and and lots of it.
Well, now I've got a good excuse not to. It's dairy.
Yeah, you're supposed to be having that stuff.
All right. Go keep.
And of course, we've done the squirrel gumbo while we was out there. We've done apple crisp and apple pies.
Blackberry cobbler.
Yeah,
Peach cobbler.
cobblers of various kinds. And of course, I found out that a wok, it's worthwhile to take it to cook on a Coleman stove, because you can really put a lot of fries and onion rings in a wok. So,
Have you seen they call them a scuttle?
I think I got a picture of one on my phone.
I'm not familiar with it.
It is a one burner Coleman cooker that you put, and it basically has a giant wok with legs.
Oh.
And so it's just a self-contained wok cooker. I've been seeing some of the, some YouTube folks using those, and now those look interesting.
That might be worthwhile. Sure enough.
They look pretty cool.
Even at lunch when we have a sandwich, usually have a variety of cold cuts.
We do.
We do, and of course the giggles always come when we mention cold cuts.
Yeah. It's time.
I mean,
It's time. Look, I laid it out there for you.
You did. You put it out there, so we might
and so
talk about the elephant in the room.
Talk about food. We got to talk about the lack of cold cuts.
Because if somebody asks you, so is there something I can bring?
I did. I said those words.
And I said, well, get the cold cuts. Of course, now if you talk about our buddy Koger, the first time he went, said, anything I can bring? I said, yeah. No, bring us a big bag of French fries. I think about 2 years later, they were still in his freezer at his house. And we didn't have fries that night.
Well, I was going to say, you told me to get the cold cuts. I got them. I just didn't bring them.
But you got to be resourceful. It just so happened that at lunchtime on our little trek, we was close to some people's house that I knew, and I talked them into going to a local store and getting our cold cuts, which was good.
Much better than what I had.
Out of the driveway when
They was pulling out of the driveway, and
I
pulled. I come walking up out the creek,
the creek. Yeah.
I said, "Hey,
what y'all up to?"
Yeah. Could y'all spare a minute and go get us some cold cuts? And they did, and we had some good ones.
Much better than what I had bought.
Yeah,
I promise.
That was very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've done that. Of course, suppers for the first few years was fish. We either had fish or fish,
Or
and occasionally fish.
Sometimes,
As long as
but-
they were biting.
Yeah, and
sometimes-
well, it got to where I could bring them just in case.
I was going to say, the very first time I went with you, the very first trip I went on, nobody caught a fish. And we didn't bring anything else. So we had coleslaw and french fries for supper.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is
Snacks.
not the pole meals I've heard of.
No.
But I've learned something about me in life, just across the board. When I would play basketball, we would go out, and when I took the first shot, during warm-ups, if I hit the first shot, we screwed.
So you caught the first fish that trip?
No. No, what I'm saying is that meal was subpar for a pole meal. And now, ever since then, they've been, woohoo, awesome.
I remember that one year we knew the fishing wasn't going to be good, and you remember you
It's
brought
muddy.
the hamburgers.
Yeah.
Yep. Now we've had burgers.
We brought, and I used to I always carried hot dogs just in case.
But yeah, I started bringing fish fillets and, just in case.
That way we didn't have to worry about it.
Didn't I? Yeah. If you caught fish, good. If you didn't catch fish, good. And so, and of course, I got pretty quick at filleting fish. And usually, by the time they got camp set up, I had the fish filleted in a pan.
True story. The first time Robert Pritchett went with us, we were setting up camp, and I believe it was me, you, Robert, Woody, and maybe Coger.
Coger, I think, was on
It was the time we hiked the creek.
Yeah,
That was the
that
name.
was
That
it,
was the
yeah.
name of the title.
Yes.
Was the time we hiked the creek.
Low water.
I was helping Robert set his stuff up, and we set your stuff up. By the time we get there, we unload stuff. JR starts cleaning fish, so we start setting everything up. We're still setting up camp, and JR's like, "Hey, y'all come eat.
Supper's ready."
Supper's ready." But all we were setting up was hammock stands and hammocks. We didn't even put any rain flies or anything out because we were in the middle of a drought.
Yeah.
Y'all must have been horrible at setting up. We used to
Well.
set up the Taj Mahal in less time than that.
Well,
Yeah.
it was.
I'm sure you got pictures of the Taj Mahal.
I do.
Your first trip.
I do. That was first trip to
From
the
up
Screen
high.
House. Yeah, I've got it. I will try to remember to put that in right
Me
here.
too.
The problem for me with the tent mahal was the fact that I was laying there enjoying the birds and everything, and everybody else went to sleep before me, and the snoring was so loud there was no way I was going to sleep after that.
Yeah, you put 5 or 6 people in one big tent
It was a
that
giant tent.
snore like we do. And we do. I mean, if
Listen.
there was an Olympic snoring team, you know.
It was us three, Jared,
Jason.
Jason, Ronnie Shelton.
Yeah.
Was anybody? Jeff Smith.
Jill.
Yeah, Jeff was with us on that.
So there was 7 of us in one tent.
Yeah. Oh, and if we had been snoring like that time, the mall hammock trip where
Trader Hill.
yeah,
The
Trader
second,
Hill.
the last night in Trader.
Oh Lord, have mercy!
I
Between
felt sorry for the people camping around us. I
between
felt sorry
Larry
for us.
snoring and Dave's old man talking in his sleep, at least Josh's brother, Jared, he will yell in his sleep. He don't just talk, he's dressing somebody down in his sleep. But we after a long day out in the wilderness, in the spring when everything's blooming, and you got plenty of allergies screaming, and you've worked hard all day,
And you're tired.
and when you lay down, there's some snoring taking place.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, that is a thing. And plus, a full belly don't help.
And we always have a full belly.
I mean, I think on that trip, didn't we do? It was either taco soup on that night, or we done a low country boil. Because I love the low country boil.
Yeah.
The low country bowl was the first night.
Yeah. Okay.
You talking
We did-
about on
Wait,
Which trip
He's
you
talking about
with
the
The
Ronnie?
snoring trip.
No, at Trader Hill.
Trader Hill, we done.
We did, because remember, you packed
Right.
everything
I thought we had
in
taco
coolers, taped up, and left it in your truck for like 4 days while we were out in the swamp.
Yeah.
And it was still frozen when we
Still
got
hard
back.
froze, yeah, because they use dry ice.
Was it taco soup?
Taco soup was the second one.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
First night was the Low Country Bowl.
Low Country Bowl. And then while we were out in the swamp, we did a fend for yourself, right?
Yeah.
You know, everybody was doing their,
Yeah,
their
we done a
meals.
little, because we was kind of setting our palates for Canada.
Yeah, we're trying to get used to that and
Yeah.
using dehydrated meals.
Boil your water and pour it in there
Yeah.
and stir it up.
I mean, that's all well and good if you're surviving, but we want to do more than survive.
We want to thrive.
Yes.
Some of those meals are actually good though.
Yeah, they are. Now, they have really come a long way with freeze-dried meals, but when it gets right down to it, if you throw out, you know, a Low Country Bowl with all that corn on the cob and the sausage
And
and,
the
the shrimps
potatoes.
and those little taters in there, oh, yes. Now, that's worth eating right there.
Well, see, the difference between the little vacuum packed, freeze dried lightweight and Low Country Bowl that we have is your boat. Kayak versus canoe.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, we're getting down on the time here, but before we go, just real quick, I want each one of us most memorable meal we've had that one that just jumps out to you. First one, Josh.
Probably, I can't even remember the campsite, the Low Country Bowl we had with the 2-inch thick pork
chops.
loin, pork chops.
Yeah.
That's when we had
At
the,
the
tablecloth.
That was
gonna be mine. That was gonna be mine.
Oh my gosh. We
We
had
were-
the bread, the
Which I
Holy
can't
cow.
remember which shelter we were at.
I don't either, but yeah, that was
Coffee day.
That is the
Coffee
time that I
day,
got
wasn't it?
after we ate. I got the picture of you asleep
With
in your chair
the
with the alligator sitting behind you,
Yeah, that's true.
or in the water behind
I
you.
think it was Coffee Bay.
Back there, yeah, watching over us there.
Or was Coffee Bay the day shelter?
Canal Run is the
Canal
day
Run.
shelter, ain't it?
It is now, but we
What-
stayed there.
Yeah, we stayed
before
there
they
twice.
changed
Yeah,
it
before
to
they
a
changed
day shelter only.
So Coffee Bay is the one in the back, Canal Run's the one up front.
Yeah. I
Right.
think that's right.
But yeah, now of course, you know, with a checkered tablecloth and real flatware, you know, out in the middle of nowhere. If you're going to eat a real meal, you got to use real utensils.
Was that the trip that Dave thought it would be a good idea to dump the leftovers in the?
In the toilet. Oh
And we
no!
No. Wait.
That was the same.
I think
that was
it
the
was.
meal.
Was it?
I
It was
Yes,
that meal.
because it was like right there, and the door faced
Yeah,
the camp,
face the shelter.
and he broke something loose in there.
Yes.
I have never in my life smelled anything.
That was horrendous.
Yeah, that you don't really want to camp in a place where the toilet is right.
I mean,
on your shelter, you know.
I mean seriously,
Right there.
Yeah.
Like there.
the furthest you could get away from it was just about 25 foot,
Yeah. That
and
was,
then
That wasn't far enough.
and hope that the breeze kept going the opposite direction.
it's gonna make me gag. All right.
We'll eventually have to probably on the next trip talk about Brad being an exhibitionist.
Yeah. And Woody.
We'll have to talk about that. You know, we don't see a person for 2 days. Brad goes up the creek to cleanse himself, and lo and behold, a kayaker wants to talk to him, or he's standing, fixing to, get his birthday suit cleaned, and a car or a van full of people stop on a bridge.
That on a bridge that I didn't even know was there until I heard kids laughing.
Yeah.
Ah, Lord.
Yeah.
Fun times. All right. Is this gonna wrap us up? We are already to like 24 minutes here.
Oh,
so
okay.
I guess this needs to
I
wrap
guess
us
we're
up.
good.
All right. So we've had fun. It's been different than our other session where we were sitting around a fire. But excuse me.
Yeah, this time you had to see us.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, well,
Maybe next time we can go back to a fire, or either that, or I may just, film a fire and pretend we're sitting around it while I'm editing, creative editing.
Well, some of those
Well, he's got
some of
100
them videos that you used to shoot
videos
would be
of
good to add.
sunrises
the
and
creeks
sunsets.
running, stuff like that would be good to add.
Yeah, I could do that. All right. Excuse me. Woo, Lord. All right, so we're going to wrap up this session of Pine Thicket Philosophy. And I don't know how many, I think we did about 4 episodes here in this session, something like that. So we got about 4 weeks worth of material, so hopefully we can get together again soon and get Larry, dang, excuse me, we'll get Larry back with us and get Glendon, and who knows, maybe we can go on a big trip and get all the heathens in with us.
That'd be good.
Get the whole 7.
That would, that may be a overload. I don't know if the crowd can handle all 7 of us.
Well, maybe by the time we get to there, they'll be able to.
All right, guys. So be sure to tune in next time, and we appreciate you, and appreciate all your support and your comments and your likes and your shares. And I'm gonna give a shout out. I've had David Young, who's one of the guys that me and Josh grew up with, used to run around with some. Mr. Poe had him in ag class probably for 4 years, if I had my guess. Dave, he's always commenting, and he lives over in Virginia now. We don't get to see Dave very much, but Dave, we appreciate you watching and tuning in. And another one I want to say hello to is Josh Yao. He's a big supporter. He's always commenting, and he's been bugging me like, dude, why have we not got an episode in 2 weeks? I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, we had COVID. Our house has been rampant with COVID. So, but we're back. Hopefully we'll get you some more out. So guys, we appreciate it, and be sure and tune in next time. And hopefully we'll have some more stories about some bad adventures that make good stories. Y'all got anything you want to add before we go?
No.
About the end of it.
About the end of it. All right.
We did.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. See ya. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in for this episode of Pine Thicket Philosophies. Tune in next time as we continue to live by our motto, even bad adventures make great stories.